What's up, movie fans? So, I'm not in the studio right now. If you haven't seen my recent YouTube shorts, then you don't know this, but I am in college right now, so I'm living on campus, so I don't really have access to the studio right now, so that I can continue making full videos, because I like making full videos. This is gonna be my set for the time being. Obviously, it doesn't look great right now. The lighting over here kind of sucks, and also everything's just kind of miscellaneously placed. It looks a little empty, but this is what I'm doing for now, because I'm just kind of tweaking with it. Sorry if this video doesn't really look quite right. I'm also sorry if you hear fan noises in the background. My room does not have air conditioning, and I am not dying of heat stroke for the sake of a video. Anyway, I wanted to talk about Alien Earth. If you haven't heard of this show, it recently came out on Disney Plus and Hulu. It is a new installment in the Alien franchise, and as far as I know, it's the first TV show in the Alien franchise. I became a huge fan of the Alien franchise earlier this year. I did a video ranking all of the movies, and so I decided to check this show out, and I decided I wanted to make a full video about it because I actually have quite a lot to say about this show. So, starting it off, I'm going to do this like a normal review, so we're going to talk about everything I liked about the show, everything I disliked, and then my final score, as always. Starting off with everything I liked. This is a show that I think does a fantastic job expanding the universe of Alien. And that really just comes down to the title of the show, Alien Earth. We've never spent an Alien movie on Earth. You always go up to space. Like, we've seen brief shots of Earth in movies like Aliens, Alien Romulus, things like that, but normally you're always either on a different planet or in a spaceship. So this show really explores a lot more of how Earth actually works in this futuristic universe that is the Alien universe, as you see that there are these different companies that are kind of warring with each other to become the dominant force on the planet. Like, there's a ton of different inventions and new pieces of technology that are competing with each other, and I found that to be very interesting. In particular, this show introduces a new concept into the Alien franchise, hybrids. From the very beginning of the Alien series, you have always had synthetics, which are like robots, essentially. This show introduces the concept of hybrids, which are synthetics that have human consciousnesses. So, like, it's a human brain uploaded into a synthetic. That is a very interesting concept to introduce into this universe, and I really like the way that they use it here, as essentially there's a bunch of children at the start of the show who are sick. They are the main characters of this show, and this company, Prodigy, uploads their consciousnesses into synthetic bodies to save their lives, or at least that's what they say it's for, but in reality they just want to make this technological breakthrough. And so it's very interesting because throughout this entire show, all of the main characters are played by adult actors, but they're children. They're children in robotic bodies, and I think that all of the actors in this show managed to do a fantastic job at acting like grown-up children. Like, they're very, very funny in this show because they have petty arguments over things. Like, the things that they talk about are very childish. They, like, talk with very childish vocabulary. I thought that it was a ton of fun getting to see, like, these grown-up children in this show. It was a pretty fun, funny concept. But also, you know, the Alien franchise has always been a franchise about humans playing God and getting consequences for it. And this entire plotline about hybrids allowed us to explore that theme in kind of a new way, since, I'm just gonna say it, every single human in this show, with the exception of a few, they're all kind of varying levels of evil. Like, there's a few good people in this show. The main character has a brother. He was pretty cool. He was a mostly nice guy. But there are a lot of humans in this show that are just the worst kind of people. And so it's, like, very interesting how you see how these people use the hybrids and how the hybrids become slowly more and more fed up with them over the course of this show. And along the way, it's able to explore these really interesting existential themes about, like, are the hybrids still humans, or are they more machine now? Like, what exactly are they? Yeah, it's a very interesting show that explored a lot of themes that I wasn't expecting it to explore. Another thing that this franchise does that not a lot of other Alien media has really done is it has other aliens in it. Like, there have been a few touches of that in the Alien franchise. Obviously, in Prometheus, you have the engineers and stuff like that. They established in the Alien franchise there's an entire vast galaxy out there, and yet all we really ever see are the xenomorphs. This show throws in a whole bunch of other alien creatures, and they are so creepy. I would genuinely say the xenomorphs are kind of the least terrifying part of this show. More on that in the negative section, to be honest, because I have a little bit more to say about that. But, like, seriously, in this show, you have a ton of different creatively messed up concepts for creatures where, like, there's this weird eye creature that, like, goes inside of your body and replaces your eye and then controls you. There's these bugs that suck out all of your blood, and that's pretty horrifying. Like, this show has some very creepy creatures that just, like, made me squirm in my seat every time I was watching the show and I saw them. In general, this is a show that knows how to be creepy and how to build tension. A lot of the sequences with the xenomorphs are directed in, like, very creative ways where they do fun stuff with the camera angles and kind of, like, have them doing stuff in the background that's creepy, and, like, there's little details that you don't really notice at first, or you do if you're quick. Like, yeah, I like the way that this show was directed. And then the final thing that I have to say about this show that's really positive is the entirety of Episode 5. Episode 5 of Alien Earth is one of the best TV show episodes I have seen all year. Like, Episode 5 is a flashback episode that actually doesn't take place on Earth. It takes place in a spaceship, and it shows you how the xenomorphs ended up on Earth in this show. And I love that episode so much. Like, it's kind of a shortened Alien movie in a way, and, like, I just love the way that it just constantly builds tension by subtly setting up how everything is going to go wrong. And then when you get to the end of the episode and everything does go wrong, like, it's horrifying, it's entertaining, like, it's a fantastic episode. I love that episode of this show. Sorry, there's a carpet under the tripod. You might have noticed several times that the camera shakes a little bit because my foot keeps hitting the carpet. Sorry about that. Anyway, let's move on to the negatives now. I like a lot of stuff about this show. I do have a few negatives. And to start off, I'm not a huge fan of the xenomorphs in this show. I hate to say it, but I think this show kind of fumbled with the xenomorphs a little bit. And it's pretty funny. Like, if an alien show ruins the xenomorphs, normally that would be, like, the end of it. Like, that would be, okay, the show kind of sucks then, because the xenomorphs are the main thing. I don't know, I thought that this show had a lot of elements outside of the xenomorphs that were more interesting, that redeemed it, but I hate to say it, but, like, every time I saw the xenomorphs in this show, I just wasn't that scared of them, because either I could tell it was CGI, or it looked like somebody in a suit. I don't know if it was somebody in a suit, but it looked that way. I don't know, like, just the movements of it, it looked a little bit too human for me to be that creeped out by it. And, like, okay, I understand this is a TV show. You have to expect that the budget is gonna be a little bit lower than an alien movie, but also, I feel like they could have gotten around that by kind of doing what the first Alien movie does a lot of the time, and not showing the xenomorph as much. Like, the kind of hiding it in certain shots and leaving it more up to your imagination. Then I think I would have been more creeped out by it. But I don't know, just as is, I wasn't that scared of the xenomorphs. Another thing about this show, I don't necessarily think that it uses the concept of an alien show on Earth to its fullest extent. Like, I think the first 3 episodes do, because the first 3 episodes are about the xenomorph kind of rampaging through a city. After that point, every other episode is kind of isolated on this one island, and I just think they could have done a little bit more than that. And then the final problem that I have with this show, and to be honest, this is kind of my biggest problem, I was a little bit disappointed by the finale. It's not a bad finale. Like, this isn't, like, a case with, like, I don't know, Marvel's Secret Invasion, where the finale kind of ruined the whole show for me. No, the finale, it's alright, but, like, I feel like the finale has a story that needs to be much more fast-paced, but it still kind of feels like a slow burn, like the rest of this show does. And I don't know, the pacing felt off to me. The show also ends on a cliffhanger, and, like, you can do cliffhangers very, very well in ways that make you, like, really want to see what happens in the next season. To me, the cliffhanger in this show kind of made this season feel a little bit incomplete to me. So, yeah, those are really the problems that I have with Alien Earth. Overall, I really liked this show. I thought that this was a great TV show in the Alien franchise that used the already established lore of this franchise and expanded on it in ways that makes everything a little bit more interesting and a little bit creepier. So, yeah, I was a pretty big fan of this show. I don't know if I can give it like an 8 out of 10 or higher because the finale was a little bit disappointing to me. And also the show kind of fumbled with the xenomorphs, which are kind of important to get right in an alien show. So I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. It's a very great new thing in the Alien universe that introduces a lot of very interesting concepts. I just wish it would have done those concepts a little bit better. That's everything that I have to say about Alien Earth. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe. Comment down below, what are your thoughts on Alien Earth if you've seen it? And what do you think of the very empty new set? And see ya, movie fans.